Hey guys, so it's Steve here with an iPhone 4S buyer's guide. While it certainly isn't the biggest update in the world, I'm sure a lot of you guys will be picking up the 4S when it's out, so let's go ahead and go over a few of the things that you need to know before you pick one up. The first thing is that even though the 4S is a world phone, it still will be locked to the carrier of your choice. In the United States, this means Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T. Even though it's going to be the exact same iPhone that works on all of these networks, if you buy one, for example, from Verizon, it's going to be locked. So you can't just go grab an AT&T SIM card, put it in, and expect it to change carriers. So let's go over some of the major pros and cons with each carrier. Verizon in the United States has an excellent 3G network. Coverage is, in my opinion, probably the best out of all of the carriers, and overall it's going to be really solid. On the other hand, though, it's not going to be the fastest network around, so you do have some trade-offs there. While Sprint can't compete with Verizon's network coverage, it does have a couple of tricks of its own. For starters, it does have an unlimited data plan. Now, unlike AT&T and Verizon, which not only have 2 and 4 gigabyte plans, but on top of that, they sometimes will throttle you even if you do have one of the old unlimited plans. Sprint, this is not the case. You can download as much data as you want, no throttling, and there is no restrictions. On top of that, Sprint does tend to be a fair bit cheaper than either AT&T or Verizon. So if that's an important thing for you, if you really want to use a lot of data and you want to save some money, Sprint is going to be a good option. Although do keep in mind that in general, the coverage is just not going to be as good as on AT&T or Verizon. The AT&T 4S has one major advantage, and that is it does have HSPA+. What this means is that the iPhone 4S on AT&T is technically a 4G phone. Now, I use the quotation marks because it's not really quite up to par with, for example, the Verizon LTE network, which is blisteringly fast. However, if you do choose to buy an iPhone 4S on AT&T, it will be about as fast as their other 4G phones, such as the Atrix 4G as well as the Inspire 4G. Not really Verizon speeds, but it should be faster than either on Sprint or Verizon. If you're not interested in signing a 2-year contract, there is another option, and that would be to pick up an unlocked iPhone 4S. Since this is going to lack a carrier subsidy, of course the unlocked version is going to be much more expensive as opposed to if you had signed a contract. If the 4S is priced the same way as the current iPhone 4 is, then you can expect an unlocked version to run you anywhere from $650 to $850 depending on what kind of storage you have on your phone. On top of this, the unlocked 4S will be a bit delayed compared to its on-contract counterparts, where you can now pre-order the iPhone 4S on, of course, AT&T, Sprint, or Verizon starting October 7th. The unlocked variety will not be able to be pre-ordered and most likely will only go on sale on the 14th. Moving on from this, you do have the choice of either black or white. So unlike when the iPhone 4 launched where you could only pick it in black and it took months and months and months for the white variety to come out, now the iPhone 4S will be launching in both black and white. There's no price difference or any really major differences besides just the color, so of course that's going to be entirely up to you. Personally, I kind of like white. Final thing that you should keep in mind when picking up an iPhone 4S is what capacity do you want it in. So the iPhone 4S will be available in 16, 32, and 64 gigabyte capacities. Pricing will run you $200 for the 16 gigabyte, $300 for the 32 gigabyte, and $400 for the 64 gigabyte iPhone 4S. Pre-orders for the iPhone 4S will go live this Friday, which is of course October 7th. Now, if past events are anything to go off of, I would definitely be sure to get on it as soon as possible if you want to be able to get it on the release day without having to go and wait in line in the store. If you're not interested in pre-ordering, you can wait until October 14th, which is when the iPhone 4S officially goes on sale. Now, as always, there will probably be lines in various places. They haven't told exactly what stores will be carrying the iPhone 4S on launch. However, more than likely it will be all of the usual suspects. Anyway guys, it's going to be about it for my iPhone 4S buyer's guide. If you found this video helpful, definitely be sure to leave it a thumbs up. And if you have other friends who might be interested in picking up the 4S, be sure to share it around with them. Now I have a question for you guys. If you're going to be picking up a 4S, which one are you going to get? Which carrier, which color, which model, all that kind of good stuff. Personally, I'm thinking about picking up a 16 gigabyte white iPhone 4S on Sprint. Haven't totally made up my mind, to still have a day or so to figure it out. But yeah, that's definitely what I am leaning towards. Anyway guys, if you're interested in more coverage of the iPhone 4S, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be doing lots and lots of videos once it is out. So of course, just be sure to hit that subscribe button up above and you'll be notified with all of my new content.